So there's a lot of arguments for a gold-only standard, and the gold standard that works the best is a gold coin standard. So there's no increase in the money supply, there's no reserve requirement, but most of the systems have been bimetallic or trimetallic. So you've had gold and silver, or gold, silver, and copper. And those instances, if in a free market, the amount of silver to buy gold is determined by the market on any given day. It fluctuates usually around a certain amount. But the idea is that silver is really what's used for goods and services, and gold is usually for a large settlement, like an apartment building or a car lot or whatever. So the idea is that silver is really used far more often in more places for more transactions than gold for settlement by far. And gold is really kind of the reserve where you stockpile it, and it's used in transactions, but rarely. Usually nation-to-nation settlement where we're on a gold standard and France owes us money or we owe France money, and you ship some gold over in a ship and you unload it and put it in their bank. That's the idea. So with silver, you really have a lot of power, because if you go to the current day where 70% of our well-being is based on the consumer in the United States, and consumption is the key. And if everyone basically used the silver standard and banks no longer use silver as a monetary asset, we would actually have a lot of control, because we could spend our ways into a better world, let's say, if we had the ability. And not, some people wouldn't, but on a silver standard, you only buy healthy food, for example. You only buy, or rent homes that are efficient. You only buy automobiles that are efficient. I mean, the money power, it does work in reverse. In other words, we spend it consciously, and not everyone can, because they can't afford to spend consciously. But as a thought experiment, if we could, the banks and the corporations would actually have to do our bidding, because if these unhealthy foods, for example, were never bought, name your fast food diner of choice, and let's say that for whatever reason there was a great wake-up call and people just quit spending their money there, that would fail, and it wouldn't exist after a while. And you did that one at a time and picked them off, bing, bing, bing. Pretty soon you would see something pop up that the public did want, like something with organic food or something more healthy and that type of thing. So there's money power on both sides, and that's why I've been such a silver advocate, because it's the underdog's metal. And the bankers really don't control it. The bullion banks control the silver market to a great degree. But when I say the bankers don't control it, I mean the central banks really don't use silver, and they don't use it as a settlement mechanism. Whereas if you look at the BIS and you go back about 20 years, they did not look at the Basel III situation. It was prior to that, and the only thing that they used was gold only. So if you were Paraguay or the United States or Argentina or Australia, it didn't matter. Your worth to the BIS, from their perspective, was how much gold did you own. So that kind of tells a story of how important gold has been in the monetary system in the past, and it remains to be determined whether that will happen in the future. And if it did happen in the future, of course, I would be screaming, you need a bimetallic standard at best, but I doubt that's in the cards.